What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Mr. Random, and this is the ultimate buyer's guide for one of these. Congratulations, you just found the Crown Vic Holy Grail. That's right guys, in today's video we're covering everything. We're leaving no stone unturned. If you are interested in buying a P71, we're going to talk about the best years. We're going to talk about the worst years. From little itty bitty small problems you need to look out for to major flaws and recalls, from mileage and idle hours and everything in between. So sit back, relax, forget about it, kick your feet up, because you have just entered the Crown Vic Zone, the Crown Vic Zone, the Crown Vic Zone, the Crown Vic Zone. First, let's identify if you're even in the presence of a true police interceptor. The easiest way to do that is just check the vehicle VIN number. Letters 5, 6, and 7 should say P71. If you're buying a 2010 to 2011 Crown Vic, the interceptor designation is P7B. Anything else is just a pretender. Okay, now quick disclaimer. Crown Vics are slow as hell.
69 seconds.
9 seconds.
They are, however, more durable than the Trojan that was responsible for my last kid's birth.
Here in the torrential tropical depression, engine is fully soaked. I mean, we got water pooling up right there on the valve cover, on the coil packs, on the intake, on the alternator, everywhere. There's a moment of truth. Will this engine turn on? Will this car still be alive after being fully water soaked? It turned on!
Let me put it this way. When the Corona Zompocalypse comes, this is the car you're going to want to be in. Now, we're going to talk about mileage. When it comes to buying a Crown Vic, especially the P71s, the ideal mileage is anything under 150,000. Sometimes exceptions can be made for cars with 170, 180,000 miles, depending on the idle hours. But the sweet spot, that good G spot, is 150,000 miles and under. Now, speaking of idle hours, to put it simply, that just means the amount of time your car has spent turned on with the transmission in the parked or neutral position. One idle hour is equal to 33 miles driven. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is coming straight off the Crown Vic owner's manual. If you don't believe me, dig up that old manual and check for yourself. As far as idle hours go, ideally you don't want anything over 5,000 idle hours. If you find a Vic with 1,000 and under idle hours, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a unicorn. I'm really trying hard to knock down the Boston accent a little bit, alright? So work with me here. Alright, now let's talk about common problems. First off, your intake manifold will crack and leak at one point or another. It's not a matter of if, but when. It usually starts happening around the 150,000 mile mark. What happens is coolant will leak into your spark plugs, causing major misfire issues. Believe me, no Vic, and I mean no Vic, is safe from this issue. There are no exceptions. You want to talk about bad intake manifolds? Hell, even this former detective unit with less than 1,000, even till this day, idle hours, was not safe from the dreaded intake manifold leak. This is probably one of the best examples of a Crown Vic I've ever owned, and well, check it out for yourself. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. When buying a P71, get ready to replace your alternator.
This is the alternator right there. You guys are going to listen to it. All right, whenever you're ready. Yep, it's the alternator.
You're also going to want to get ready for your driver's side windows to fail.
What ends up happening with that cable is it actually frays, or it even snaps, and it starts winding and twisting on itself and nothing happens. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what it sounds like if your power window regulator is messed up. Listen closely.
Also expect the fuel filler neck in your gas tank to start failing as well. This can be a major annoyance. Luckily, I found a solution for this problem that seemed to work for many people who watched the video. Your transmission, it's gonna fail. Not once, not twice, hell, I'm on my third transmission so far, praying I can make it to income tax. Luckily, the trannies for these cars are plentiful and cheap, just like in Thailand.
The transmission went out on the Crown Vic. I'm gonna floor it. You guys see that? You heard that?
Also keep in mind these cars use vacuum lines for their air conditioning. They will fail, which will cause the AC to only come out of your vents. It's a $10 fix. Hell, I might even make a video on it soon too. And last but not least, guys, keep an ear out for the dreadful engine knock. Okay, so here's an example of what a healthy, normal engine sounds like upon starting it. Now tell me if you can hear the difference in this one. If you ever hear this problem, pack your bags and run. Okay, now here's a breakdown of the best model years of Crown Vics. You might want to write this down. The best years are based off major recalls, consumer reports, and repair shop logistics, and major flaws and kinks that were ironed out due to new technology that was introduced in the earlier models, okay? So here's a list of the best model years of Crown Vics. 1999, 2000, 2001, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2010, and 2011. But every yin has a yang, so here are the years to stay away from: 2002, 2003, 2007, 2009. It's the most reliable P71 ever made? Well, that honor goes to the Street Appearance Pack, or SAP Crown Victoria. It's essentially a civilian-looking Crown Vic with a full police package underneath. It still has the P71 VIN number and was generally used by detectives, FBI, or police surveillance, which means they were barely abused. The SAP Crown Vic is indeed a unicorn. Now, how to tell if your Vic came with a Windsor or Romeo engine? All you have to do is visit this website, type in your VIN number, and you can thank me later. Or you can watch the video that I solely dedicated to that subject as well. Just look up Crown Vic engine identification on YouTube. Now, let's talk about suspension changes. The 1998 to 2002 Crown Vics came with a traditional recirculating ball gearbox steering. It was simple, cheap, and easy to fix, but they were prone to huge amounts of rust. The 03 to 2011 Vics, they had a more advanced rack and pinion steering, which was a bit more expensive to fix, sure, but it gave those Vics literal sports car handling. Now, believe it or not, it's actually fairly easy to convert a Crown Vic front end to a Mercury Marauder. I made a video on the whole process as well, but to put it simply, if you have a 98 to 11 Crown Vic, all you need is a Mercury Grand Marquis header panel, Mercury Marauder headlights, Grand Marquis grille, and Marauder front bumper cover. I've found that this is actually the cheapest way to make the Marauder conversion. And last but not least, the first three most important things you should do after buying a P71. That's your oil change, spark plugs, if you have deep pockets, coil packs, and last but not least, fuel filter. I've made an easy how-to video on that as well, okay? Anyways, that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. That is your official beginner's guide to getting yourself a Crown Vic P71. Just remember one thing. These cars can be addicting, and you'll always be back for another one. Just like your mom. Take it easy.